As you all know, the financial sector is highly regulated. There's a lot of concerns about stability, concerns about consumer protection, things like that. So there are a lot of eyes on this. And as also you know, we have a new administration in the government, and we have a number of vacancies in our financial regulators. So there are vacancies with the FDIC governors, there are vacancies with the Federal Reserve, there are vacancies at the SEC, soon to be. There are vacancies right now, some appointments for the CFTC. All of these sort of alphabet soup of regulators that I've just named really control the financial sector and make important decisions with respect to new rules, new regulations, new guidelines. There's a lot of work being done by the government in this space, a lot of good work, but there's still a lot of room because our US system is set up around regulating particular types of entities, more traditional entities like banks, like broker-dealers, like things like that. And they have certain agencies who regulate those agencies. So what we're struggling with right now is sort of taking a look at digital assets, such as stable coins or cryptocurrencies, NFTs, you name it, and trying to neatly put them into the boxes that the US financial regulatory framework has been set up for. As you can imagine, that's a little tough. Never fear, we have government regulators who have recognized this challenge. You may have heard of the Presidential Working Group. They recently put out a report on stablecoins, and there was recently a hearing before the Senate Banking Committee, maybe just a few weeks ago, where they talked about that report. In that report, they said that what they would recommend is that the US House of Representatives get involved and come up with legislation. Now, I'm from DC, and I love politics, and I'm a bit of a political, but I'm sure you guys understand how hard it will be to get the US House of Representatives all aligned on legislation in this area. So we have our work cut out for us, because until we have rules and regulations and things that sort of give us guidance and a framework, it's going to be very, very, very difficult for consumers and investors to feel comfortable in this space. We all know that it's not all bad actors. We all know that it's not all money laundering, and a lot of the skepticism is possibly unwarranted. But without guidance and without a framework, it becomes very, very, very difficult. The good news is that you may have heard in the news is that the Biden administration is coming out with an executive order, possibly as soon as next week. It's long overdue, and there's been a bit of a delay, but it is supposedly coming out any day now, which is pretty exciting. That should give federal agencies more guidance in terms of how they can work together, hopefully, and collaborate and come up with ways so that companies will feel safe and less at risk in innovation.